Just recently, in December 2024, I've sold quite a few watches on eBay, and today I want to discuss 5 of the sales that I've made. So these are the watches that I've reviewed on my channel, WesWatches, so this one right here, and yeah, then I sell the watches on eBay. I'm not looking for profit, I'm selling them as used, but I usually do take good care when I do the reviews. I use gloves and generally look after the watches, so they're almost as new. In regards to the prices, I'll be including VAT to the selling price on AliExpress, and I'll be telling you the sale price that I got on eBay. Every amount we'll be talking about today will be in USD, just to keep a level playing field so everybody from the different countries, so all the viewers can understand exactly what the price is, and we're not gonna go into translating into different currencies. So, the 5 watches that we'll be discussing today is a Steeldive Tuna 1975. We'll be talking about a Berny titanium watch. We also have an Addiesdive ripple dial, but this is not the model from 2023 where we had the mineral crystal. This is a brand new watch that came out in about, I think, July, August 2024. So it gets a sapphire crystal and a very wavy ripple dial. So you can get it in brown or beige as well as white and blue. And it features an automatic movement. Then of course we've got the San Martin vintage style pilot watch, the SN34, and the Guanqin perpetual. Well, perpetual. It's not really a perpetual calendar watch. It's not. It's an automatic watch with some calendar features, and it's homaging Ellen Jean's watch. Anyway, so these 5 watches are what we'll be discussing today. So how I picked them up and for how much on AliExpress inclusive of VAT, and how much I managed to sell them on eBay, just in the UK though, and over 3-day auctions. Let's get into it. So let's start off with the Steeldive SD1975 first. Let's take a quick look at this watch before we discuss the pricing. This is a big boy, the significant and imposing Steeldive tuna watch, the SD1975, a beast of a watch with looks and components equally premium. For some $70 we get 300 meters of water resistance on this diver watch. We get an automatic movement, specifically the Seiko NH35 with 24 joules and 42 hours of power reserve. The watch case and bracelet are all stainless steel. Just the head of the watch is 98 grams. With the 5-link bracelet, the weight is a whopping 240 grams. The sapphire crystal is 3.9 millimeters thick on this piece. The 30 ATM water resistance is warranted by a screw-in crown and a screw-down case back. Luminosity is a characteristic that Steeldive watches proudly show off, and there is nothing different with this piece. So we get luminosity on both the bezel and the dial indices. There's a date window at 3 o'clock, and of course a 120-click unidirectional ceramic bezel insert. The only polished elements on the rugged beast are the screw and crown thread and the short lugs protruding from just under the watch case. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 46 millimeters, a lug-to-lug length of 46 millimeters because the lugs literally come from under the case. We get a height of 14.7 and a lug width of 22 millimeters. The bracelet here does not taper when it reaches the clasp. The double pusher clasp is signed though. There are 6 micro adjustments and we get a milled wing. The bracelet is fit with push pins, and surprisingly the tolerances on this 5-link setup are quite decent. So $70 for a 300 meter water resistant diver watch. So I picked up this watch inclusive of VAT for $69 on AliExpress, and I sold it on eBay for $61, giving me a loss of, well, $8 or around the 12 to 13% mark. Now the second watch is the Berny titanium, so the T2576. Personally, I think it's a great watch. The sizing is great, the price is awesome, sapphire crystal. Anyways, let me tell you a little bit about the watch and then we'll get into the pricing. For $60 we get solid titanium, and this is both the case as well as the bracelet. A field watch is supposed to be rugged and always ready to handle anything. The 37.5mm Berny does just that, with a hybrid quartz movement for precision and accuracy in a sweeping seconds-hand fashion. The watch also features sapphire crystal. We get 50 meters of water resistance. We get a push-pull crown at 4 o'clock and a snapback rear. With regards to the dimensions, the diameter is 37.5mm. The lug-to-lug length is a very modest 43.5mm, a height of just 9 and a lug width of 20mm. The modest lug-to-lug length is due to the inverted end links, hence the watch should easily accommodate wrists 5.5 inches and upwards. The titanium bracelet gets okay tolerances, good link articulation, and is held together by push pins. The double pusher clasp has 3 micro adjustments and a pressed wing. Now, is that impressive? Well, overall yes, because this piece is just $60. So, feather light and still with a presence due to the superior legibility of the sterile white indices against a matte black dial. If we talk about the luminosity very quick, well, it's decent. I would have probably enjoyed if the numerals would light up as well, but even with the hands lighting up, that's fine, and that orange seconds pointer, that's pretty classy. So $60 here. So I picked up this bad boy for $75, but all I managed to get back on eBay was $50, giving me a loss of about 30-odd%. Quite unexpected really for such a good watch, right? It's a titanium watch, titanium bracelet, and still quite a significant loss there. Now let's talk about the Addiesdive AD2059. So this automatic stunner with a blue ripple dial, it gets sapphire crystal, automatic movement, all stainless steel. I personally love the watch, and as soon as it got released on AliExpress, I went out and got it for $91. Let's take a look at this watch. E59, and this is something else in terms of aesthetic pleasure, refinement and premium components. For $80 we get 3 dial color options, a sky blue, beige or white. The dial pattern is a sand dune of water riffles across a lake. Catching the sand dune ridges is relatively easy once some light hits the box sapphire crystal above the dial. This is an automatic piece powered by Seiko NH35. Meaning we get 42 hours of power reserve, 24 joules, and 21,600 beats per hour. The piece also features a sine screw and crown and a screw-down case back. We get a mix of brushed and polished surfaces, and these create exciting light play across the case. The piece is all about a sporty and fine design, with details pointing towards a luxurious background. See the Jubilee-style bracelet here with inverted end links. The semicircular links are meaty and pleasantly drape my wrist. The sign clasp is neat and oozes finesse. We also get 100 meters of water resistance here for those swim days. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 39mm, a lug-to-lug length of 45.5, a height of 12.9, and a lug width of 20mm. The lug-to-lug length is very good and should really accommodate wrists 6 inches and over. So for this piece, it's $80. So as I mentioned, with VAT, this watch cost me $91. I sold it for $38. That is a huge loss of about 60%. So absolute massive loss. And again, Addiesdive, I'm sure people know of this brand in UK, and still this watch, I don't know why it sold for such a cheap price. So big loss there. Now let's talk about the Saint Martin, this vintage styled pilot watch. So I really enjoyed this design, 37mm case. Now it is a quartz watch, but it's just so interesting. It's got this small seconds hand. It's got a textured dial. The refinement is just screaming Saint Martin quality. Let's take a quick look at this watch. Most expensive piece in this collection, the Saint Martin SN34. It's a classy vintage style pilot watch, and it's a quartz, but it is a Saint Martin and it costs just $100. Powered by a Swiss Ronda, the 6004 movement, featuring a small seconds hand for that chic and retro finesse. The 37mm case is not large, yet the watch easily stands out with the brushed stainless steel setup, a coarse black textured dial with the high contrasting white mini-track, printed numerals and a piano gloss small second sub-dial at 6 o'clock. The piece is 200 meters water resistant, warranted by a signed screw and crown and a screwback rare. As a matter of course, we get sapphire crystal. The dark chocolate strap is quick release and with a signed buckle. The strap here is apparently leather red, so not leather, but it could have easily fooled me because this texture is so soft and so pleasant to the touch. So $100 gets you this vintage style pilot watch from San Martin, a premium brand on AliExpress. And yeah, you can see it's premium from the refinement, but the price, wow, real bargain here. So I picked it up for $92 and that is inclusive of VAT, but I managed to sell it for only $77, giving me a loss of around 18%, so 1/8. And that is still quite significant because I would be expecting that I should be getting a bit more for those San Martins, but the market has spoken. Now, for number 5, let's talk about this Guankin watch. So I think it's an interesting watch. It's an automatic movement, sapphire crystal, stainless steel. Let me quickly tell you about it, then we'll talk about the pricing. So this is the Guankin, and they were really trying to accommodate the connoisseurs on a budget with this homage. This is a moon phase calendar automatic. It's a homage that caters to those looking for a more complex design, featuring a fully stainless steel construction, sapphire crystal, day, date and year calendar complications, as well as the moon phases displayed at 6 o'clock. With regards to water resistance, not amazing, just 3 ATM, but this is more of a dress watch. We also get an exhibition case back, giving a glimpse of the engine room. Most prominent is the decorated gold tone rotor. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 41mm, a lug-to-lug length of 47.4mm, a height of 13.7 and a lug width of 20mm. A contained lug-to-lug length is due to the inverted end links, and that means that wrists of 6 inches and over can really enjoy this watch. Guankin features a stainless steel tooling bracelet, fitted with push pins and a signed butterfly clasp. So I did pick it up on AliExpress for a very budget price of $39. And I sold it on eBay for $39. So break even, and I was very happy with that because it's a very little known brand in the UK, and still, because I think of all the features here, it did sell for the price I got it on, and I was happy with that because that's the only watch out of these 5 that actually broke even and didn't give me any losses. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this talk about my experience with buying watches for reviews and then selling them on eBay. Hopefully you found out something new, something insightful. Thanks for watching. And the links to all of the watches that we talked about today, they will be in the description below the video. They are affiliate links. So if you do make a qualified purchase on AliExpress, I will be getting some commission from the platform. This doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me get some commission in so I can buy more watches and review them for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.